Earth is a complicated place. There are a lot of us that share this planet together, and it's sometimes difficult to understand who everybody is and what everybody believes. To understand things a little better, let's shrink the entire world population down from 7.5 billion people all the way down to just 100 people, and keep our small 100-person society as similar to the real world as possible. Dividing between gender, the 100-person world would be equally divided between 50 men and 50 women. Most of these people would live in Asia, a total of 59 people compared to 16 people living in Africa, 10 living in Europe, 8 in North America, only 6 in South America, and just one lonely person living in Australia and Oceania. 19 of these people would be Chinese citizens, and another 18 would be Indians. There would be only 4 Americans, 3 Brazilians, 2 Russians, and 1 German. The other 53 people would be citizens of 187 other countries around the world. Most of these people would be pretty young, with 9 people aged just between 0 and 4 years old. 17 people would be aged between 5 and 14 years old, and 16 people would be aged between 15 and 24 years old. Another 16 people would be aged between 25 and 34, which means that 58 total people are younger than 35 years old. 20 people would be between 35 and 49, just 14 people would be aged 50 to 64, and only 8 people would be above the age of 65. When we talk about religion in the group of 100, 31 people would adhere to Christianity, 23 would be Muslims, 15 would be Hindus, 7 would be Buddhists, 9 would follow other religions, and 15 people would be non-religious or atheists. Mandarin Chinese is the most understood language with 14 people understanding it, but English isn't far behind it with 13 people understanding it. 9 people understand Hindustani, 8 people understand Spanish, and 5 people understand Arabic, with the other 51 people speaking over 7,000 other languages. Mostly everybody can read and write, with 86 people possessing this ability, but there are still 14 people who are illiterate. 92 people have access to clean and safe drinking water, but 8 people do not and struggle as a result. 62 people are healthy in their weight, but 11 people are malnourished and 1 person is literally starving. The other 26 people are overweight, and 8 of those people are actually obese. 21 people do not have adequate housing to fully protect themselves from the elements, and 1 person is homeless. The other 78 people, however, do have proper housing for themselves. Only 60 people have access to toilets, though, and the other 40 people do not. Of those 40 people, 15 of them still defecate out in the open outdoors. 54 people live in cities, while the other 46 people live out in the countryside. 9 people are currently unemployed, while the other 91 people either are employed or are outside of the labor force. 1 of these people has AIDS, and 5 people will be infected by some form of STD this year alone. 58 people are currently married, and the average age that people get married at is 29 for women and 32 for men. Another 15 people actively smoke tobacco products, while the other 85 people do not. Interestingly enough, the same statistic is true of vehicle ownership, with 15 people owning a motor vehicle and another 85 people not owning one. Most people are overwhelmingly right-handed, with only 10 people being left-handed. 73 people have or are expected to graduate from high school, while the other 27 people haven't or are not expected to graduate. However, only 7 people hold a college degree of any kind, while the other 93 people do not. But that doesn't stop most people from owning a cell phone. 80 people are in possession of one, while the other 20 people do not have one. This means that yes, more people have access to a cell phone in the world than a toilet. Internet access is also much more uncommon than cell phone ownership, with only 42 people having access to it and the other 58 people not having any access to it. Speaking of the people with internet access, however, 26 of them have a Facebook profile, 17 of them have a YouTube account, and 4 of them use Twitter at least once per month. But perhaps the most shocking difference in our small group of 100 people is the distribution of wealth between them. 71 people have a net worth of under $10,000, and out of them, 12 people are living on less than $2 per day. 21 people have a net worth between $10,000 and $100,000, and 7 people have a net worth between $100,000 and $1 million. There is only 1 person who actually has a net worth above $1 million, but this 1 person is vastly more wealthy than even this chart makes it appear. This 1 person owns 50% of all the money in the world. The next 9 people own 35% of all the money in the world, so to recap, 10 people together control 85% of all the money in the society. Another 20 people owns 12% of the global money supply, which means that 70 people, the vast majority of the society, only controls a mere 3% of the money supply. In addition, 1 person is a refugee or currently displaced from their home, and 2 people are named Muhammad, which is the most common name in the world currently. Finally, all 100 people currently live on Earth, our home. Within a few years, however, who knows how all of this data may be different.